Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reclaiming Your Health. I have missed you all. I so look forward to Tuesdays with you, and I've just been unable to come in and do it live. And so I'm so excited to be back on track today with one of the recipes that I promised you. This is in continuation of our conversation about brain health. If you remember, I was talking about dementia and how there's different types of dementia and how this dementia is caused. Sometimes it's brain failure, but it can be caused by some kind of brain trauma. It can be caused because of vascular issues, if you have hypertension, if you have high cholesterol, any of those things, diabetes, all of those can contribute to your brain health being challenged and not being optimal. So what I wanted to introduce you all to were a few simple recipes with a few simple additions that can give you a powerful boost to your brain health. Now, the key ingredient in this recipe is something that I know a few people struggle with, but I actually love them, and it is beets. Beets are incredibly good for your brain health, all right? So today we're going to make something that it's kind of like one of those transitional things that if you go into a plant-based diet, it's something that you start to eat a lot. That is unless you don't like hummus. So this is a beet hummus. I love hummus. I can eat hummus on its own. I can eat it on toast. I can eat it with chips. I can eat it with cucumber. I just love hummus. It is so good for you. It is one of those things from the Mediterranean diet that we've been hearing a lot about because it includes olive oil. It's got high protein, heart healthy chickpeas in it. Chickpeas and beans and things like that are great for your insulin levels because they keep them steady. They won't cause a spike. So we've got the olive oil, we've got the chickpeas, we've got the beets that are great for your brain health. We've got some tahini, which is made from sesame seeds. So you've got more of those seeds and legumes and things like that that maintain your insulin levels. We've got some really nice garlic. And that's basically it. Oh, we have some lemon. Some lemon's gonna go in there as well. So not only is this a delicious dish that is healthy for you and is increasing your brain health, but it is one of the most beautiful spreads or dips you have ever seen. The color is so incredibly vibrant. Not only that, it's super, super easy to make. And that's why I'm talking so much, because it's going to be done so quickly. I'm trying to fill up the time. But this is, oh, and you all might remember the last time I was with you live, my food processor stopped working, so I had to get a new food processor this week. Okay, so this is so simple because all you do is you literally are gonna dump everything into your food processor and let it spin until it's gotten to be as smooth as you would like, and you take it out. Now, let me give you a trick. There's 2 tricks to make a hummus that is incredibly smooth and creamy. I learned this trick. One of the things you can do is you can either start with dry chickpeas and boil them yourself with just a touch of baking powder. What that does is it causes the skins to come off the chickpeas. That's the culprit of making sure that or causing your hummus to not be as smooth and creamy. So that's one way to do it, is to boil it with a little bit of baking powder and rinse it really, really well. And what you'll notice is that all the shells from the chickpeas will separate and they'll float on top. You take those off and you move forward with your recipe. Another shortcut is to actually take these canned chickpeas and just boil them. And the same thing will happen. Those shells, I guess is what you would call them. They will float to the top and you will end up with a much creamier hummus. But I didn't do that this afternoon. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just dump everything in there. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to tell you, you can obviously do your own beets, but I just go to Sprouts and I pick this up. This was $2.99 and I got about 7 beets in here. And so it's just like the whole mess of, peeling and boiling and the red is everywhere. If you don't want to deal with that, you can go to your local grocery store, someplace like Sprouts or Whole Foods or even Publix. And you can buy this. They're peeled and steamed. There's no added extra ingredients, no salt, no preservatives, nothing. This is pure, unadulterated, steamed and peeled beets. Okay? So let's get going with this recipe. We've got a can of organic low sodium garbanzo beans or chickpeas. Depending on where you're from, it'll have a different name. We are going to add 1 clove, of garlic. You can always add more, but if you add too much, it can make it a little spicy. We want this to have a really nice balanced flavor. We're going to put some tahini. Always get really good quality tahini. I find that this is a really delicious one. I get this one from Sprouts. There's so many different types of tahini, but this is my favorite. And if you can see, there's not like a whole lot of oil sitting on top. So that's what I like about this one. Now, I like the taste of tahini. So I use the equivalent of about 1/4 cup. Put it directly in there. So we've got our chickpeas, we've got our garlic clove, and now we've got approximately 1/4 cup of tahini going in here. Let's get that on. Alrighty. We're going to cut our lemon. I like to use the juice of 1/2 of a lemon. I've got my little trusty lemon juicer here. Oops. Squeeze this directly in there. Yeah, easy that is. It's going to be nice and zingy and lemony. All right. And I'm just going to blend this a little bit. And then I'm going to add my beets. Let me get a little bit of my salt here. I neglected to put salt here. And we're just going to get this going. Just going to let this blend. I have a little extra of the juice or the brine from the chickpeas. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that in here to help it along. I'm also going to use olive oil, but I'm using more of this liquid now because I don't want to have to use as much olive oil. Olive oil is great, but you don't want to overdo it. All right, so we've got a good blend going on here. Now I'm going to add my beet. And of course you can add as much or as little, but beet has that really earthy flavor. So I would start with less and then add more because again, once you've gone in that direction, you can't undo it. So now we're gonna blend this a little more. You're gonna see that beautiful color start to take shape. So I'm going to add a little more. So that was 1. Let's put another one in there. Because not only do we want the color, but we want the benefits as well. So we want to make sure that we have enough beets in there. Turn that back on. See the color changing? It's turning into a nice pink. There's a big piece right there, still working itself through. So I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna help it along a little bit. Kind of scooping down the sides. And you can take a little taste. There's no salt in here. There's no olive oil yet. Okay. That's tasty, and I will tell you that the beet flavor is not overwhelming at all. I'm gonna go to my refrigerator and I'm gonna grab one more beet. I'm adding more beets not only because I want the color to be richer, but I don't taste the beet. And part of the reason why I was avoiding using as much is I didn't want it to be overwhelming. You know how beets can have that really earthy flavor? Yeah, I didn't want to overdo that. So, but since I see that the flavor is not overwhelming, I'm going to add a little more. And like I told you, make this recipe yours. It does not have to be exactly how I did it. You can also make this in your Vitamix. That will help you have a super smooth hummus as well. This is blending beautifully. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, right at the top here, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. This is probably the equivalent of a teaspoon. I'm going to stop it and taste it. And if it's where I would like it to be, then I'm going to focus on adding some olive oil. That's really, and now I'm tasting the beet. Now I'm tasting the beet. So I'm going to turn that back on. Add just a little more salt here. And now I'm going to drizzle some olive oil. I'm probably going to do the equivalent of about 2 tablespoons. Some really good quality extra virgin olive oil. And there we go. To be honest with you, this could actually take a little more garlic, but I'm not going to do that. Again, make this recipe what you would like it to be. But look at that color. Isn't that color beautiful? And the more beet you add, the darker and the richer it will be. I would say that 2 or 3 small beets are probably good for the average population. I think if you add more, it could be a little tough because the beet flavor can be overwhelming. But if you're a beet lover, obviously it won't be overwhelming to you. All right. So that is done. Just like that. And let's take this off. And I'm going to use this, and I'm going to put some in my bowl. And this is going to stand out so beautifully because it's a black bowl. See how creamy that is? How it's just coming out super easy. What's nice about this too is you can just put so many toppings on this to really make it just like pop and stand out on your table. That. And so I have some beetroot leaves that I'm just going to put on top of this. Oh, it's so pretty. And then some other microgreens, just going to put it on the side there. because we eat with our eyes. So I always like to do a little something that entices. Because even if somebody doesn't like beets, if they see a beautiful presentation, they'll say, oh, what is that? That looks interesting. So what I'm serving with my beet hummus, I've got some great little Persian cucumbers, and I've also got some tostones. Now, this is the kind of thing you can eat with carrots, you can eat with pita bread, you can eat with pita chips, you can eat with crackers, you can slather this on some toasted bread and put some sliced cucumbers and tomatoes and peppers, and it would be delicious and heart healthy. Today, we're going to use a cucumber, but look at this finished dish. Look at that. Do you see that finished dish? Red beet hummus. Now you could also do this with golden beets, but red beets are the best. So I'm going to taste this. That's very good. Very good. Some of the easiest directions ever. Just throw it all in your food processor and go about your business. And you've got a delicious, heart healthy, nutrient dense, beautiful dip. This is hummus with steamed and peeled red beets. Yummy. Add this to your rotation, people, and your brain will thank you, because beets help to increase the circulation of blood in your brain. We're eating for brain health. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.